Hi everyone, welcome back to our video lesson, which was specifically created for the distant learners of economics field. And my name is Kakhorova Nigina Abduvahidovna. I'm an English teacher at the Kars State Technical University. And today we will talk about the Unit 15, unemployment. Let's go. So before everything, let's take a look at the learning objectives of today's lesson. By the end of the lesson, we'll be able to understand the concept of unemployment, identify types of unemployment, explain causes and effects, and finally, we will practice third conditionals. And before we start, let me ask you some questions relating the topic. So, why do people become unemployed? Is unemployment always negative for an economy? And the last question, which professions are most at risk today? Think about them and prepare your answers. And today I would like to talk about an important economic issue, unemployment. We often hear this word on the news, in political discussions, and even in our daily lives. But what does unemployment really mean? Why does it happen, and how does it affect society? Let's explore this topic together with some real-life examples. Unemployment occurs when people who are willing and able to work cannot find a job, even though they are actively searching for employment. It's one of the most important indicators of a country's economic health. When unemployment is low, it usually means the economy is strong and businesses are growing. However, when unemployment rises, it often signals economic problems. Economists use something called the unemployment rate to measure this situation. The unemployment rate shows the percentage of people in the labor force who do not have jobs but are looking for work. For example, if a country has an unemployment rate of 10%, it means that out of every 100 workers, 10 people cannot find employment. There are many reasons why unemployment happens. One major cause is economic recession. During difficult economic periods, businesses earn less profit, factories reduce production, and companies often lay off workers. A real-life example is the global financial crisis of 2008. During this crisis, millions of people around the world lost their jobs because banks collapsed, companies closed, and economic activity slowed dramatically. Another important cause is automation and technology. Today, many factories use robots and machines instead of human workers. Supermarkets now have self-checkout machines, and some companies use artificial intelligence instead of customer service employees. While technology improves efficiency, it can also reduce job opportunities for certain workers. Lack of education and skills is another serious factor. Many modern jobs require digital skills, communication skills, or technical knowledge. People without proper training may struggle to compete in the labor market. For example, some workers who spend years doing manual factory work may find it difficult to adopt a computer-based jobs. Unemployment has serious effects on individuals and society. First, it reduces household income. Without stable salaries, families may struggle to pay for food, healthcare, education, and housing. Second, unemployment increases poverty and financial stress. Many unemployed people experience anxiety, depression, and low self-confidence. Third, high unemployment slows economic growth because fewer people can spend money on goods and services. As consumer spending decreases, businesses earn less profit and may reduce hiring even more. This creates a negative economic cycle. Now let's discuss the different types of unemployment. The first type is fictional unemployment. This happens when people are temporarily between jobs or entering the workforce for the first time. For example, a university graduate may need several months to find their first professional job. Similarly, someone who resigns from one company while searching for a better opportunity may experience frictional unemployment. This type is usually short-term and considered normal in a healthy economy. The second type is cyclical unemployment. This is directly connected to economic recessions. When businesses face lower demand, they reduce production and dismiss employees. A clear example happened during the COVID-19 pandemic. Many restaurants, hotels, airlines, and tourism companies closed temporarily. Millions of workers worldwide lost their jobs because people stopped traveling and spending money. The third type is structural unemployment. This occurs when workers' skills no longer match the needs of employers. For example, coal mining jobs have declined in many countries because industries are shifting toward renewable energy. Workers who spent decades in mining may need retraining to work in technology or green energy sectors. The final type is seasonal unemployment. This happens during certain seasons of the year when labor demand changes. For instance, agricultural workers may only work during planting and harvesting seasons. Tourism workers in beach resorts may have jobs during summer but become unemployed during winter months. Governments try to reduce unemployment through different policies. They may invest in education and vocational training programs to help workers develop new skills. Governments also encourage businesses to create jobs by offering tax reductions or financial support. In some countries, infrastructure projects like building roads, bridges, and railways are used to create employment opportunities. In conclusion, unemployment is more than just an economic statistic. It affects people's lives, mental health, families, and the future of society. Understanding the causes and types of unemployment helps us better understand how economies function and why governments work hard to create stable job opportunities. As future professionals and educated citizens, we should continue improving our skills, adapting to technological change, and supporting innovative economic development. And now, in order to check what you have gained from the video, I'm going to ask you several questions. So, the first question is, what is unemployment? The next question, how is the unemployment rate calculated? Name 4 types of unemployment. What causes cyclical unemployment? How can governments reduce unemployment? And now we are going to do some true or false exercise where you should read the statements and decide if they are true or false. You'll be given 30 seconds to think, and you may take extra time by pressing pause, and after that we'll check the answers. Alright, now let's check the answers. So first, frictional unemployment is permanent. This is false. Fictional unemployment is usually temporary. It happens when people are changing jobs, searching for work, or entering the labor market for the first time. Next one. Structural unemployment is caused by skill mismatch. This is true. Structural unemployment happens when workers still do not match the jobs available in the economy. Next sentence. Cyclical unemployment increases during a recession. That's true. During a recession, businesses produce less and may reduce workers. As a result, cyclical unemployment rises. Fourth one, seasonal unemployment happens all year. That's false. Seasonal unemployment only happens during certain seasons or periods of the year, such as tourism or agriculture jobs. Fifth one, high unemployment affects economic growth. And that's true. High unemployment reduces people's income and spending, which shows economic growth and affects businesses. Next one, governments cannot influence unemployment. That's false. Governments can reduce unemployment through education programs, job creation projects, tax policies, and economic support. And seventh one, automation may increase unemployment. That's true. Automation can replace some human jobs, especially repetitive work, which may increase unemployment in some industries. Eighth one, the unemployment rate measures working population only. That's false. The unemployment rate measures people in the labor force who are jobless but actively looking for work, not only employed people. So, time for doing matching exercise. Here are the words on the left, and you should match them with appropriate definitions on the right. You'll be given 30 seconds. We will check the answers afterwards. All right, my dear listener, if you have finished, let's check the answers. So the first one is unemployment rate. This is the percentage of unemployed people in workforce. The unemployment rate shows how many people in the labor force are jobless but actively looking for work. Next one, frictional unemployment. This is workers between jobs temporarily. This happens when people leave one job and search for another job for a short time. Third one, structural unemployment. This is skills mismatch in labor market. Structural unemployment occurs when workers' skills do not match available jobs. Cyclical unemployment. This is unemployment caused by economic downturn. This type of unemployment increases during recessions when businesses reduce workers. Fifth one, seasonal unemployment. Job loss during certain seasons. It happens in industries like tourism and agriculture during off seasons. And sixth one, recession. This is period of economic decline. A recession is a time when the economy slows down and unemployment often rises. Seventh one, labor force. This is people willing and able to work. The labor force includes employed people and unemployed people searching for jobs. Eighth one, automation. This is replacement of human labor by machines. Automation uses machines and technology to perform jobs previously done by humans. So now let's do some interesting listening activity. Here you should listen to an audio and fill in the blanks with the missing words.
Listening. Unit 15. Unemployment. Listen and fill in the blanks. Unemployment is a serious economic problem that affects both individuals and society. When people lose their jobs, they also lose their income. This reduces consumer spending and slows economic growth. Cyclical unemployment has increased during recessions. Structural unemployment has become more common because of automation and technological change. Governments have introduced training programs to help people gain new skills. In recent years, many countries have experienced changes in their labor markets. Reducing unemployment has become a major challenge for policymakers.
All right, everyone. I think nothing was challenging for you to do this task. If so, let's check out the answers. So the first word is income. The second word is spending. The third word is recessions. And the fourth word is automation. And the fifth word is training. The sixth word is labor. And finally, the seventh word will be challenging. So, previous lesson we were talking about the second conditionals. And now let's watch an interesting video which clearly describes and depicts the usage of third conditionals. Have a good watching.
ESL Library. Third conditional. What is the conditional mood in English? We typically use the conditional mood for hypothetical situations. When we don't know if something will happen, we make a guess about the outcome. What is the third conditional? The third conditional is also known as the past conditional. We use the third conditional to express a past regret or imagine a different outcome. For example, if I had studied harder, I would have passed the test. This means that I failed the test. But I can imagine that if the condition of studying harder had happened, the outcome of passing the test would have happened too. In this sentence, I am expressing regret about failing the test. The most common third conditional pattern is if plus had plus past participle, would plus have plus past participle. Note that we use a comma after the if clause. For example, if it had been a nicer day, we would have gone to the beach. The if clause doesn't have to start the sentence. Another common pattern for the third conditional is would plus have plus past participle, if plus had plus past participle. Note that we don't use a comma before the if clause. For example, we would have gone to the beach if it had been a nicer day. Let's look at some more examples of third conditional sentences in English. If he had forgotten his umbrella, he would have gotten very wet. If we'd known you were in the hospital, we would have come to see you. If you hadn't eaten the whole pizza, you wouldn't have felt so sick. She would have bought a new car if she had gotten a raise. I would have called you back if my phone hadn't died. They wouldn't have bought a new house if they hadn't won the lottery. Look at the picture. Say or write a sentence using the third conditional. For example, if I had remembered his birthday, he would not have been so angry. Now you try. The children would have gone to the park if the weather had been better yesterday. If the authorities had sent the tornado warning sooner, fewer people would have been in danger. He would have gotten the job if he had done well at the interview. She would have given a better presentation if she had been better prepared. If I hadn't left my keys in the door, I wouldn't have had to go back home on my break. Thanks for watching.
Alright, dear students, for your homework, you should imagine that you are an economic advisor and write a short policy proposal about unemployment. Your work should be around 250 or 300 words and written in formal academic style. First, briefly describe the current unemployment situation and problems in the labor market. Use important economic terms such as unemployment rate, recession, labor force, automation, structural unemployment, or cyclical unemployment. You need to include at least 5 economic terms. And finally, explain the possible economic results of your solutions. Describe how these policies would affect businesses, workers, poverty, or economic growth. So this is the end of our today's lesson. Take care of yourself and see you in the next ones. Goodbye.